This is the Cliff Yates Show. Personal growth, motivation, inspiration, and philosophies for a great life.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Cliff Yates Show. As always, you are in the right place, and I have my beautiful co-host. My wife is with me today on the podcast, and we're going to talk about, I think, finances today.
Yes.
And I'm going to start with Financial Peace University because we both benefited from that. So first, I want to welcome you, honey. Thanks for joining me on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, and so let's talk about Financial Peace University. When did we first get involved with that?
Let's see. I think we were going to Faith Community Church in West Covina, and it might have been over 10 years ago or more. Yeah, it's definitely been over 10 years ago. Yes.
Yeah, I would say it was 10 years ago. And boy, what a difference that made. We went through the church. It was about a few weeks program.
Yep, it was a couple of weeks program, and I wasn't sure who was the one. Oh, I think my cousin Glenda was the one that recommended it, and she was going to it too. Yes, my cousin Glenda, and I think Alan Alvarez, my nephew, was also going to it too. So we were all going together during the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I remember right, you also became a facilitator for the program, right?
I was going to, but I never was able to do it. But I never got around to it. Let's put it that way. I still want to do that. Yes.
You could have done it.
Of course I could. I could teach all those.
For some reason, I thought you went through it twice. Maybe you went through it with somebody else.
No, I don't think so. I did want to be a facilitator, but I never got around to it.
Yeah, and so, I think a lot of the program was geared towards kind of independent contractors and solopreneurs and how they could survive like real estate agents. And
yes.
So, I mean, his whole program really is everything cash.
Yes.
And which makes sense, right? When you start dividing, I know at one time he had envelopes, right? And then
yes, we had envelopes. We had envelopes for groceries, for gasoline, things of that, entertainment. Yeah. And we had so much that we would allow a month, and that's it. Once we had, like, if it was $800 for groceries, that's it. We wouldn't get any more. We had to make sure that that's what we allowed for groceries, and you can't use your credit cards. No debit cards, no credit cards, all cash money.
It really works when you, at the beginning of the month, you tell your dollars what to do instead of just letting them tell what you're going to do. I mean, when you tell each a dollar, you're going here, you're going there, you can really control your finances. I think, man, it really worked, and you really helped me clean up my finances, and you got us on the right track. And once you got me going, then as a couple, we were in great shape. And I love how he attacks bills, right? He calls it the snowball effect. Do you remember that?
Yes. And because we were actually had pretty good credit and we didn't have that many bills, so we really didn't have to tackle the snowball effect. But for other people that do have credit card debt, and the way the snowball effect works is you start with the smallest amount that you have that's due on your credit card. So if you have 10 credit cards, one's $1,000 and one's $20, let's for example, you're going to pay the one that's $20 because that means you're done paying one account. So once you're done with that $20, now you go to the next lowest one. And then once you finish that, you go to the next one. So it's a snowball effect. By the time you're done, you end up paying your highest credit card. So that actually works out.
Yeah, that worked good because it's kind of the opposite of what you think you should do. I should start attacking this big one, but then it's too far down the road and you can't see progress, where if you take this smallest one first to knock this one out, first of all, it's not going to take as long because it's the smallest one.
Exactly.
You're going to see results right away. And now that that's gone, you move on to the next one, and that creates, right, your momentum and your snowball effect.
Exactly, yeah. Especially like your credit card bill is always monthly payments. So people, only pay their minimum payment. So let's say you have $100, account, and then you have another that's $10,000. Well, you work on the one that's $100. It might take you a couple of months, but if you pay $20 every month, you're done within the fifth month. And guess what? That extra $20 goes to the next account.
Yes, yeah.
And now you have $20 more to pay on the other account. And so on and so on and so on. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the best things about the program, and I think he said, is to start with an emergency fund. That's just
right away. You start off with like a $500 emergency fund, and they say, "How do we come up?" Well, they say, go to your garage, sell whatever you have to do from your garage, sell whatever you have to do inside the house. You'll figure out how to come up with $500, you know. Yep.
Yeah, and it's amazing once you, and then I think you get to like 1,000 or, you know,
Yep.
you keep
Once
bumping
you get,
that up.
Then you get $1,000. And then
Yeah.
once you start your 1,000, then you're going to start having you try to work up to a 3 to 6 month
Yes.
emergency fund. So let's say if, heaven forbid, someone loses their job, you have to be able to have 6 months of monthly payments
Yeah,
to
right.
pay for everything. If you have a mortgage, a car payment, your food, electricity, utilities, phone bills, you have to have 3 to 6 months of this until you finally get back up on your feet again or get another job. Because usually, you know, might take about 3 to 6 months to get a new job.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I think, man, it really, and you know, it's weird. So once you get that emergency fund and you're prepared now, then less shit happens. It seems like all of a sudden nothing happens, right? So once you're prepared for it.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of like insurance. You know how you have to get car insurance and homeowners insurance. And if you didn't get car insurance, guess what? You're going to be in an accident the next day, and then you have to pay for everything. And then when you get car insurance, most of the time, no one really has to use it, you know, but it's good to have, you know, when you need it. Same with homeowners insurance. You know, you end up paying thousands of dollars every year, and you're like, oh, well, I'm paying $1,000 every year, and nothing happens. But when it does happen, let me tell you, it's nice to have it, because we've had that happen twice with our rental properties. We've had 2 rental properties, and if it wasn't for our homeowners insurance, we'd have to pay about, you know, $15,000. You know, we had a water leak, and we had to, you know, fix the drywall, the painting, the air conditioning. So if we had to do this all ourselves, we'd have to fork out $15,000. And with the homeowners insurance, they pay up to $10,000. And even so, they if you go with their contract, they will, you know, they'll pay for everything. It's hard to explain. No, it's not hard to explain. But you can go with their contractors, or you can pick your own contractors to do your own work.
Yeah.
But when you do pick your own contractors, you might end up paying less or more. But if you use their contract, the insurance contractors, they might be able to, if it ends up being $15,000, they'll pay it.
Right.
If the kitchen has more than whatever the amount was, $10,000, they'll end up paying, you know, the extra $5,000 because you're going with their contractors.
Yeah. That emergency fund really does work, because then, man, you blow a tire and we got our emergency fund.
I know.
Thank God we got it.
I know.
And, then,
we're building up every month. We build it up. And then of course, it's like, we got to pay. Oh, we got some money. And then we just build it back up again. We just continue building back up again. So it does work.
It's not if, it's when you're going to need that. Something's going to happen.
Exactly.
And so, but it's definitely, and it goes with this. It goes with the title, financial peace, because you do have peace of mind when you get that emergency fund.
Yes, you do.
And you know you're telling your dollars what to do. You start to have peace of mind, man, and that's really what it's all about.
Absolutely. And remember, we had 2 years ago our air conditioning. We had to get a new AC. And it cost us $4,500. I go, well, we have some money in our emergency fund, so it's not like we had to like get a credit card to pay that bill. No, we had savings. We took it out, and we still had enough money for other things that can happen. Yeah,
and I think, of course, he, like I was saying, he kind of gears everything where you might not make money for 3 to 6 months, but of course, in our case, we had a salary job with a pension. So, and although, you know, when you do pay cash for everything, you do feel every dollar. If it's actual physical money.
It works out good for those people who have a hard time paying their credit card bills every month, which I don't. I mean, I put everything on my American Express card, and then when my card comes, I pay it off automatically. Yeah. But there are some people who have a hard time doing that. Yeah. So the best thing for them to do is cut up your credit cards and start doing the cash thing. And then pay everything cash, because it hurts when you're digging into your wallet and you're taking out cash and wow. Oh, I don't want to give up this $100. You know, you might have $100. Like, oh no, I want to keep this $100 for a while. Yeah. And eventually you have to break that $100 because you got to buy groceries. But it hurts more than a plastic card. You could just, in 2 seconds, your money's gone.
Yeah.
You know, zap here, instant. You know, you put your chip in or whatever you want it.
Yeah.
Now there's Apple Pay. It's so easy now to just take away money, and it's like, and that's what I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people, because it's so easy now to get money from credit cards anywhere.
Well, and you know, they want you to be charging stuff.
Of course. They want the interest. They want you to pay that high interest.
I mean, they're getting to the point where places don't even take cash anymore. They're trying to do away with it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they don't want you to do that. But I think this helps people that are having trouble with their finances. And you do have to cut up your credit cards. You just get rid of them. Cut them up. Don't use them. Don't go, I can use a credit card. Nope. You don't have that. You're going to use cash.
Yeah, I would say if someone's having trouble, that's the first thing they should do. Cut those credit cards up.
Yes.
Start telling every dollar where it's going to go at the beginning of the month and track it.
Exactly. And I mean, nowadays, I'm sure people don't like to carry cash, but I'm sure you can do just have the debit card. You know, you put your wallet app, you're only going to have a debit card, and that comes out straight out of your checking account. And you know, once that's coming out of your account, you should have a running account. You should be able to, I'm sure you can look at apps where it'll tell you how much it's been deducted for your groceries. Like, let's say, I have an $800 budget. I'm sure, you know, if you take $10 off, all of a sudden it'll show you what you have left. So with all the technology now, it should be pretty easy to keep track of how much money you spend on your groceries, how much money you spend on your going out. And then, you know what? Stop going out to restaurants. You got to cook.
Yeah.
Got to go to the grocery store and start cooking.
I think even American Express Analytics will tell you this is entertainment, food, dining, or they do break it down for you.
Yeah, they break it down, yes.
But if you can habituate, if you can get in the habit, you're always paying your credit cards off, then you can start taking advantage because you don't have to worry about interest rates or whatnot because you're never going to be paying those. So if you can get in the habit, then you can start taking, you know, advantage of the benefits these cards offer in points or
the
hotels or rewards points. Yeah,
exactly. Like people think, I'm getting a Discover card. I'm going to get cash back every month. You're not going to get cash back every month. You might get like a 50 cents or something. You have to charge a lot in order to get cash back. And why do you want to charge a lot?
Why?
You don't want to have to charge because you have to pay that. At the end of the month, you're gonna have to pay that. So you're really not getting cash back. You're paying the banks all that interest.
That's what, and they're using your money to gain interest over,
of course,
thousands and thousands of people.
So that's why they're able to give you cash back.
Yeah, I like how you used to tell like $200 a month to sit aside in the corner, and then when we went to New York, you would have this $2,000.
Oh yeah.
$3,000.
Oh, that's another good thing too. Yeah, especially like if you have Christmas coming up Christmas comes every year. And if you start at the beginning of the year and you start putting like it's every day. So you start with like $1 the first day. Then the next day is times $2. Then the next day is $4. Then it's 6 and 8 and 10 and 12. So by the time you get to the 360 days, you'll have like $3,000. So it's easier to start off like, okay, I can $2, a cup of coffee at Starbucks is $10. And every day, someone spends $10 a day in Starbucks. So you just start at the beginning of the year.
Yep, that's right.
You put $2 in on the first. Then the next day, it's $4. Then it's 6, 8, 30. Then, you just continue doing that. And then you have all this money at Christmas. Like, oh, wow, I got this money at Christmas. You don't have to dig into your credit card and spend, money on your credit card. You already have the Christmas fund or whatever fund you want to call it.
Yeah, and I think that's where you could take all right, now you have this $3,000 we wanted for New York. Now, instead of just go to New York with $3,000 in your pocket for cash, now, you can start using your credit card, and then you get advantage of all those points or those benefits, and you just go up to that limit of $3,000 or whatever you already saved.
Right.
So now you're actually paying cash, but you're trying to elicit the benefits of these credit card companies without going into debt. I think so.
Yeah, and nowadays you can go, you can get your Cash App. There's all kinds of apps. You can use your Apple Wallet. You can transfer that $3,000 for a Christmas fund into one of the cards that's just your Cash App. And you're going to use that for Christmas. It's like, all right, this is the money I'm going to use for New York. And you just take it out of that cash app.
Yeah.
Because it's already there. It came out of your checking account. You put it, and that's used for your Christmas, whatever, your New York, and you don't use anything else because you already have money in there. You got $3,000.
Yeah.
And it'll start deducting it, and then you'll know already. Oh, okay. And hopefully by the end of the year, you actually have extra money left over. So that's always nice.
Yeah, boy. I mean, this is a good program, and I think Dave Ramsey's financial. The only thing that's different, of course, with him, everything's cash, even your house. So, I mean, how are you ever going to save up $500,000? You really, in that case, I think it is important to have a mortgage.
Yeah, you just have to decide where your limit's going to be. We figured that. Well, at one point I did wanted to pay off our house, and I'm sure we probably will in 10 years or something. But we don't know that much now, which is, so we can afford it. But it would be nice if you didn't have a mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
Because then all you have to pay is your property taxes and insurance that you always have to pay.
Yeah.
Utilities, and then that's pretty much it. And make sure that when it's tax time, you actually have that you're not at that, what do you call it, high category when... I forgot what it is. What is it?
Yeah,
the limit
when
you have?
When you get into a different tax bracket,
right? If you make
income bracket,
is it 250,000? I don't know what it is now, but if you're over 250, now you're
anything
paying
over
25% more. It's like really, crazy. Yeah,
but to save. I think it's great to get a mortgage, then pay it off.
Yes.
Instead of trying to save for a house for 30 years. I think because then you can really.
Oh, definitely. Once you have that down payment, if you have 20% down pament, that is beautiful. Just work on getting the 20% down payment on the house that you want. And then obviously make sure, you have to continue to have a job. This is what they usually want. I mean, they want a job for at least 2 years, that you have stable income. You have a 20% deposit. You got money in your savings account, so 20%.
Right.
And then good credit too. So you always make sure. That's why always pay your credit card on time. And if you pay them all off, each time you pay off a credit card, that bumps up your credit score, because that means this person paid off their credit card. So sometimes it is good to start off with a couple of credit cards so they know what kind of a person you are if you pay your bills on, your credit cards on time. So it is good to establish a credit card, and then just, pay it off right away. And you open up another credit card and then pay it off right away. And then you have that credit, what do you call it, report saying, oh, this person's been paying on time.
Yeah.
You have a report that'll show everything, because it shows when you get the credit report, Experian, TransUnion, I forgot what the other ones are, Expedia. They have an item. It'll show if you've been late, if you've been a month late, a few days late. It'll have a little tick mark.
Oh yeah.
And we know, and when you go to buy a car or a house, we know how to read those credit cards, and right away we're like, oh, this person's has a lot of late payments, or this person has too many credit cards. You don't want to have too many credit card bills.
No.
And high credit cards too.
No, and they're still gonna sell you a car. They're still gonna give you a loan, but at a high interest rate, because based on that past history.
That's correct. That's right. It's always good to have good credit, because you get better interest rates on your cars, better interest rates on your home loans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you want to really make sure you get that 20% down, because then you're gonna avoid that PMI, private mortgage insurance. They're gonna require that until you get a 80-20
right
between loan to value. So it's important, I think. That's one thing I would recommend everybody make sure they do. They don't have to have 20%. PMI.
But I mean, I remember I bought a house on my own, and I did have to go to the PMI, but that's okay, because I wanted to get into this house, and within a year or two, I was able to pay off the PMI. I think I refinanced my loan, and then I got a lower interest rate, and then I was able to, because I had equity in the house already. So that's another thing when you buy a house. If the market's good, I had equity in the house, so I was able to use that equity. So I no longer needed to pay the PMI. So that was actually, so you can get away with paying. If it's your first time buying a house, it's okay to have that PMI the first time, but then once you get your second house, you should know already to have 20%. down.
Especially they have those programs where it's your first house, so you can get in for like 3% FHA, Federal Housing Authority.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if they still have those.
I don't either. I
Or
hope
not.
they do. I think they do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Good to get into a house. And where was I going with that PMI? Yeah, it's just good to get in. Get in because,
Yes.
man, you start getting equity in that home, and then it kind of, then you start piggy banking into your next home, and you use that money tax-free to upgrade to a bigger home or a better location, right?
That's right. That's right. Because like you and I, we ended up buying homes on our own. I remember my first time buying a house, I was 21 years old. I was married at the time, and we both bought I was 21. My ex-husband at the time was 22. We bought a house, and then 5 years later, we bumped it up and bought another house. And it doubled. Like within 7 years, our house that we first bought was $90,000. We bought another house for $150,000. And so we had enough equity. So now we were able to put like the 20% down, and we got a bigger house.
Yes.
More, higher mortgage, but that's okay because you're just going, each year you get paid more. You hopefully in 8 years your salary has gone up. So.
Yeah, and I know you agree with this. One of the big secrets is lock in that interest rate. Don't go to the variable. Get the fixed rate. You're always going to know what your payment is.
Exactly.
So if you're on a salary or fixed income, you're not going to get that surprise. Well, now your mortgage is going up $500 for the month, which is how they got into trouble in 2008. Variable.
That's right. The
interest
adjusted
rates.
variable rates. You don't want adjusted variable rates because
you want fixed.
No, they'll tell you, you only have to pay 1%, and then all of a sudden the market's down, and now you can't sell.
Yeah.
You can't refinance your house. You can't sell the house. The interest rates are now 10%, and now you have to refinance, and you're going to have a 10% interest rate. Not good.
Not good.
Nope.
No.
Go with a fixed rate.
Yeah, I think that's
All
the
the
best way
time.
to go.
Always go
man.
with fixed rate.
Fixed rate is
Yep.
just. I don't care if they're offering 2% adjustable. If you can get a 5 or 6, go with the 6, because you know what that payment's going to be.
That's right.
Then if you're in a job where you have you fixed income, you know what your pay is going to be. Now you always know what your payment's going to be. So now even if your house value went down to 0, it wouldn't matter because you're still paying the same rate. You got the same amount of income. So that's only on paper. But if you get that adjustable, oh my God, you can really get into trouble.
Exactly. And you remember, there's always an ebb and flow. Market goes up and down. Within 8 to 10 years, the market goes up, then it goes down, up and down. So, just because it's like, my house, my house was $500,000. I paid $500,000, and now, it went down to $400,000. But that was a bad year. And then all of a sudden, in 4 years, it's probably going to go up to $800,000. Say, isn't it glad that you kept the house? And it's always a good investment, no matter what.
Always.
If you stay in a house for at least 10 years, it's always going to be a good investment. Yep.
It always is, and it's something that you can put your arms on and touch and get your feet in the dirt. I don't know. There's something.
And it's your own place when you have your own home. You feel good about taking care of it. You're going to take better care of it. Make sure things don't get damaged because, you got to pay for everything. So, yeah.
Any other tricks or tips? I know, I don't even know if it really would matter anymore, but it kind of came in handy a couple of times. I remember just having stick a check in your wallet. I have that check. It seems like always something. Do you have a check? I got a check with me.
You did teach me that.
Yeah.
And now I always keep a couple of checks. I have 2 checking accounts. So I always keep both, So, all right, I got a check. I always have a check. And then when I use it, I go back and get another one and put it back in my wallet again. So I'll have it for the next emergency. Yeah.
But now we have Venmo and
yes, I love it.
Zelle
Venmo, Zelle. There's so many apps that you can pay now. I mean, you can get a Cash App, you can get a Visa app, you can get everything. Yeah.
Yeah. When I sold my truck a few months ago, and that normally you have to we all meet at the bank and we get a cashier's check, and here this guy was like, no, I want to. I'm going to Venmo you $3,000 or $5,000 right now, and then received, and it's done. Truck's gone, paper signed, and we're on our way. And it's really convenient. It really works great.
Oh, and I just remember another thing. Remember in May how we had the damage to our rental property, the water damage, and we had to do an insurance claim. And of course, it happened at the same time we're going to be leaving for our islands in New York. So we're from Florida, and our rental property, a week before we were leaving, we ended up having a massive leak from the AAC. The whole floors were just covered with water, the drywall up to 2 feet of water. Well, it wasn't full of water, 2 feet, but it was soaked up through the drywall. And so called my insurance, and I'm like, how am I going to take care of this? Well, I'm in New York. I need to get a painter, someone that does a drywall, and this and that. So I just looked up, on the internet, and I looked up Angie's List, and they gave me a few, people, like whoever called first, and I spoke to them, and I told them, hey, this is what I need done. This is my address. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be able to be there right now, but here's the code to get in, which is another good thing. I gave them the code to get in.
Yeah.
And they took care of it, and I paid them through, I did, okay, you want $1,000 deposit? I gave them $1,000 deposit, and they took pictures of everything. And when they were done, I had my real estate agent go and check it out. And once my agent said it was, they did a good job, I gave them the rest of the money. And it was all done through Zelle and Venmo. Did that with the painters too, same thing. So I did this all while I was in New York. I ended up getting the house, the living room, drywalled and painted.
Yeah, the floors were put in.
And the floors too, that's right. I had to get someone to do the floors too. So it was, thank goodness for technology, because if we didn't have technology, wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I would have to be there. I got to stay home and make sure everybody's, doing everything correctly, or I got to open up the door for the person, But now there's you can give them a code to get in the place. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just allows you to do so much more, and it's so.
Yes.
And I rag on some of our friends and family in our generation who don't want to learn new technology. I call them, they're in the flip phone era, and I don't want to learn anything about that. But yet, boy, it's so important to know that stuff. Like you said, you were able to, get estimates.
Yes.
Get the codes for people to get in, to take a look at the job, get estimates, send pictures back. We're able to send deposits, sign contracts and have them do the job, and see how the job was done, and get the house right back on the market without ever having to be there. But you have to be able to work some of these apps and these technologies, or you're not going to be able to do it. You have to fly down here, and you're going to have to be here in person.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank goodness, we also had another rental property where we had to evict the tenant. So this is all going at the same time in May.
While you're 1,300 miles away, you're doing all
1,300 miles
this.
away. I'm in the process of eviction, and I also have to get this tenant out who had 3 daughters, and it was tough because she finally left, but it took a while. It took somebody to actually help her move. Yeah. Because I had told her, hey, the judgment's already done against you, and the next step is the sheriff's going to come and tell you it's time to go, and you're not going to have time to get your stuff. So apparently a friend of hers helped her, get to a hotel and take all her kids there, and then she was able to take as much. Well, she did leave she did leave a mess at the. Yes, I left a mess at the townhome, and luckily I have my real estate agent who's so good. He went there and he told me, he took pictures. He goes, the place is a mess.
Yeah.
But there's no damage. It's just messy. A lot of food in the refrigerator and a lot of stuff that was left behind. And and then I also had a good friend that does clean houses for me. So I called her up, and she was like, she went to the place. I gave her the code to get in. Here's the code to get in. You do whatever you got to do to clean it up. I'll pay you, and I paid her also through Zelle, and it all worked out. Yeah. So I was able to take care of all this.
It all worked out.
1,300 miles away. Yep.
It can be done. It's all about relationships, building a team. Luckily, you had a big team going for you. I mean, here you got this lady who you had rented to at another rental, and then she started cleaning houses. You were able to help her out by giving her work.
Yes.
She came through when we needed after the eviction.
Yes.
And then the other place, which did not sell after the water damage is repaired, we don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to start running again.
Yes,
and
that's
here
right.
she needed a place because of our relationship with her.
Yes.
We helped her. She helped us.
Yep.
And everything worked out.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank goodness, because it was in August, and I said,
Yeah.
hon, we're not selling the property. It's been 4 months, and we're
Yeah.
being bled. We're paying mortgage. You know, if nobody's staying there, and we're paying.
Yeah.
We're now paying. At one time we were paying 2 mortgages. We went the rental property, 2 rentals, and we were paying mortgages, and nobody was staying in any of these places. So we were being bled out from these rental properties, and so. So I told Cliff, you know what? I think we're gonna have to sell the oceanfront property. I know we just bought it a year ago, but I don't know. This is not working out. This is not good. I don't feel like I can't do this. This is, having an eviction. Being away, it's tough to rent it out. So we decided, well, let's just put it up for sale. And within 10 days, that place was sold. Within 10 days, the one by beachfront was sold. The other one that we had in Melbourne that we had for 4 months, not one bite. Nobody was giving us any offers, and so it all worked out. So we ended up selling this property within a month. We got paid, and then August came. I said, well, let's try to rent out our other place since no one's buying now.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that's when I got a text message from our friend Fernanda, and she was looking for a place to rent. I told her, oh my gosh, I'm just putting this up for rent right now. So, and it all worked out. She's moved in there, and she's just a gem. She's such a clean person, so organized. She'll tell me if there's anything, and she fixes everything before she'll call me. So she's like the most beautiful, most wonderful tenant anybody could have.
Well, and it all worked out because she had been cleaning this place. So
yes.
When we said, well, we have this place for rent. Oh, the place I used to clean that place. Not only do I like it and I love it and I want it. And so it worked out.
She already knew it. So she goes, yes, it's like, that's going to work out for me and my kids. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then once again, we were still out of state when we sold that beach property.
Yes.
And then escrow closes in 5 days, everybody. When there's no mortgage company involved, you can close a deal right now. I mean, it was just quick and easy. She paid cash, this lady. Little did we know, we kind of outbid her the first time, and now this time she said, I got to jump on this right now. She wanted that property bad, so we got that done.
Yep.
All out of state, 1,300 miles away. So it's so important. Keep learning. Not only is it good for your brain and your body to keep learning new things, it's going to help you navigating life, especially in your finances, because you can cut some corners and get things done quickly. All right. I love it. I think, man, all of these things too work. I know you're going to agree with me on this. It doesn't matter if you're only making $10,000 a year. You can start with these programs, start paying these bills off. It doesn't matter how much money. You can use these principles and take care of bills. The snowball method works no matter how much you're making. It works. Whether you're just doing garage sales, it works. Take the smallest bill and knock that out.
And once you get that done, then there's like the 10-10-10 rule. You put 10% into your savings, 10% either to your tithing or whatever charity, 10% of your income. And then what's the other 10%? I forgot, but it was...
Is there 10 investing, 10?
Oh, maybe the other 10% is for you to have on you.
I think, it's disposable income to do what you want with it.
To do what you want with it.
Yeah, it's important to have that.
Yeah, it's important to have your own income where you can... remember we called it blow money. You got to have some blow money where you can just go and just blow it on whatever you want,
Yeah, it's so important.
That's great. We're at that point right now, so I feel good. We're doing like 10% tithing. We try to put 10% in our savings when we can, and we have extra money too. Yeah. For ourselves. So
to enjoy this one life we have. So I hope everybody, if you can, go to Financial Peace University. Dave Ramsey, he's got a podcast. I don't know what it's called, but Dave Ramsey, he still has the program.
Financial Peace University. Yep.
Yeah. I think most churches do that. Now I know our church over here in Florida is doing
they do it
FPU.
too. Yep.
So through your local church, you can do Financial Peace University because, like I said, peace of mind, it'll actually help you in your marriage and your relationships because a lot of times money is what causes problems in relationships. So if you can get rid of that problem, you're going to be in good shape. Honey, this was so great. Thanks for joining me in this. Do you have any other final words?
Oh, I just want to say I'm wearing pink because this is for breast cancer awareness, and my niece Priscilla had a breast cancer. So, and thank goodness everything worked out. And so that's why I'm wearing my pink, representing Priscilla.
Thank you,
love
honey.
you, Priscilla.
Yes, Priscilla, we love you, and so glad everything's going good. And we pray for you.
Yes.
And so I think that'll do it. Thanks, honey, again for joining me. And we're going to do this every week. We're going to have Team Yates do a podcast episode. And as always, you all done, hon?
Yes, I'm all done.
Okay.
Yes.
As always, hey, subscribe to the channel if you're watching or listening on YouTube. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, hey, come check out the YouTube channel. See our ugly faces in person, or my ugly face and my beautiful wife. All right. You know I love you. I'll see you in the next episode.
See ya. Bye.